What's up, everyone? Got a few moments to invest here before my phone finished charging, so I can go and do a bit of a hike around the city to show you guys some interesting architecture. And this has to do with the Tartarian or Tatar or Tartary Empire, the architecture, the mud flood, and the giant buildings that are everywhere. And it's something that people should, that are into this subject, consider. And it's a huge piece to the puzzle. It's a huge giveaway. Um, to just another little proof in your mind. Just a little more like just. It's I know on here it says Horus. I mean, because Horus does connect to what I'm going to tell you, but which is two things really. Horus is code for hours and for horses. The most important thing is horses. These buildings that were being somehow put together, apparently, in the late 1800s, these giant buildings. How many horses would it take to get one of these jobs done? One of these big buildings. And you have to ask yourself further, because this is the part of what I'm getting at is the next question is never considered. You might say, okay, it's going to take 3,000 horses. That's a fuck ton of horses. Maybe that's too many. You're saying maybe only 1,000. Okay. Those horses have to be birthed, fed, trained, and then put into use. Like fed, that's just for one building. To do all of the work of putting the marble from I don't know how far away, wherever that's coming from, the dirt that's going to leave the site from digging up for the basement, because apparently you make basements, you have to dig it up. They don't have big machinery back then, so it seems like people are pretty much doing that by hand. And then these horses, how long are they going to last for? How long are they going to work for? How long can they work for? How many hours are there in a day? How many horses would it require? Beyond all of the other very, very, very... Hey, Button Hero, thanks for coming back, man. I was going to ask you about that. No, you didn't, because I had a couple things to do, so I didn't even get to that. I didn't even get to do the research. I got to a little bit of research on the stork and all of that, and the little bit of history, but I couldn't find what I was looking for exactly yet. But give me a couple of days, I'll sleep on it. But I was going to ask you, what were you talking about when you said the eggs? You were talking about the kids, the coming from the eggs or something. Is there a documentary or something, maybe a short video on that, what you were talking about? What's up, Fire Drake? So yeah, Button Hero, let me know more about that. I'm really interested in that aspect. That you because you had asked me earlier, and I said I had never seen it, never heard of it, but it intrigued me, because obviously where did these foundlings come from? And then we got into the just for a second, the stork and the eggs and all of this. But just finishing up what I'm saying here, and this is obviously a little more advanced for some, but it's such a very obvious question. Who's training all of these horses? Where are they being fed? How long are they lasting for? And that's who's cleaning up all the shit from the horses. Horses shitting all over the city. Like, because if you're building something, you're going to need more horses than if everybody's just getting around by horse and buggy. Yeah, it's gonna be some shit to clean up here and there, but building a giant building, there's going to be a lot. It's not, again, as I try to extrapolate the process for what it takes to build a building. You're getting into these other things, meaning horses and hours and where it's being built. I know this is a redundancy for anybody that's seen my last video, but I think I might make a few of these videos of me just saying this so new people that, find this shit. It's so important. How many hours in a day? Not working nights. No power tools. What about these horses? And seasonal. The seasonal dilemmas, especially if you're in the north. If you're in the south, working through the heat can be done, and so you get a whole year of working. But in the north, these things are not being done in the winter. Not hardly. In fact, you can't look at some of the things. You can't break ground in the winter. This is a fact. You can't break ground in the winter for multiple reasons. A, because you got just how hard it is. I mean, they don't have power tools back then. B, because of the thaw of the ground and the expansion between the ice and the what's going on with the dirt and the soil. So you can't break ground. So, and they're not getting the whole thing done in one summer. The whole outside of the building. No way. No way. It can't happen. Won't happen. So so break it down to a summer. You want to prove it can't be done in the summer? How many days if you up in a northeastern city? How many days in a summer are you going to get to work that it's not raining? Because the raining is going to prohibit working. So you got rain days in the summer. You can't work during the winter, basically. So 1 year is not even 365 days. Even if they were working weekends. Even if, let's just say, work 7 days a week. You can't. I'll give you 8 months. I'll give you 8 months before people are like, because there's some things you can't do with gloves on. There's some things like you're working with your hands. You can't do it in the winter outside with your gloves on. So there's so many things that can't be done during the winter that wouldn't be reasonable or feasible. So these giant buildings. You're not working at night. You're not working during the winters, and you've got to take rain days off. We got a very short time frame to get things done. I mean, there's many reasons you're not being like horses can't see at night. What are you gonna do? I mean, they got better vision. Okay, great. The horse. Yeah, people are gonna be working at night. I can hear people. No, there just was a lot more people when they're working at night. I'm like, come on, slow down. I just hear that. I hear the goofers in the real back of the class like, oh, they're good. I heard it one time. Like, yeah, okay. Did that dude already have a lobotomy? Can you get his other half done too? Because he's obviously not gonna. That one's not gonna work. That one's not gonna function. Throw that one out. Check out Furlock for the. Okay, cool, man. His recent series. Hey, Button Hero. If it's a whole series of videos, I mean, it's interesting. I'm gonna dig in, but I don't want to. I don't feel like spending like 10 hours. I just don't have time to do it because there's such a wide variety of things that I get into. If it's interesting, I will. But is there any way of giving me a quick breakdown of like, just what are you saying? Like, the kids were hatched. I mean, are you saying like they were hatched in a laboratory, or did they come from another realm? Or, I mean, is there any way of you just let me know that, or is there a quick breakdown of one of his things? I mean, again, like I said, I'm all for it, watching long documentaries and things, but there's just so much on my plate. So, as we're here about 8:50, and I'm just, for whoever just showed up, I'm just letting my phone charge before I take you through a journey, and we'll go look at some buildings that are mud flood, or more importantly, we're gonna go. It'll be a surprise. I'll take you to a place, and it's gonna be like this. And I'll tell you what was done there. And let's just hear. I'll give you a little intro, even though some of you won't see the next show. But World's Fairs. There's World Fairs everywhere, and there was one in this city. Well, there's two in this city. One was in '84, but the later ones don't really count in the same way. Look at the early ones. See about the early ones in every city. And there was one done in 1884 here in New Orleans, and we'll see some cool things. And we'll go to a place that I haven't been before, so that'll be fun too. Be a little adventure for me today. Time is looking at 3:00. I don't want to guarantee it will be today. My timing might not. I gotta check, and I gotta check the schedule of where I want to go to, because I'm not gonna waste a trip. So it might be tomorrow, but either way, uh, it will be fun. We'll look at some what appears to be remnants of the ancient Tatarian or otherwise otherly built empire before whatever happened and whoever took over the buildings. Fire Drake, did a Jason did a Mandela effect shift us to a mud flood 500 years ago? I will say what I always say about the Mandela effect. Well, no, I won't say what I always say, but I think that's just the ability for computers to provide us with new pieces of information and how quickly it can spread. Um, this information is probably was there, it's been there, but like just because it was there and it's been there doesn't mean anybody noticed it. Doesn't mean anybody like was like, hey, let me make a YouTube about it. Let me make a, even if they did, like who's following their channel. So it took a few I think it took a couple. You know what I mean? Like a couple people going, oh, this is interesting. Why is that? And then it's like some people over in other countries going, yeah, this some. How come it would take somebody that was into architecture to actually consider and to like you could walk down the street, know architecture, and know it very well, but say, oh, it was built that way because. But if you came at it with like an open eye and go, oh, why would that be built like that? And somebody tried to explain to you, like, nah, I don't know about that. You'd have to, then you start digging around. So I think that's what happens. I don't think Mandela effect, the way that most people perceive it, is what it is. I believe in jumping timelines. I believe in multiple realities, which says I believe in the Mandela effect, but I don't think it's happening the way that most people think the Mandela effect happens. I think there's way too many things that what we're working with here is not. It is. I've heard things that they're like, oh, there was always 52 states, or there was only 48 states, or something. I'm like, okay, I get it, like that's your reality, but that how many people, how easy it is to, if I just say that, then you just have to believe it. That's the slippery slope to the Mandela effect is, oh, it was 48 states, it was 52. Oh, okay, and now everything else that person says, I have to just go, okay, whatever, that's your experience, even though they're bullshitting, and so that's the slippery slope. Is there's bullshitters have used the Mandela effect to just implement some sort of idea that they want, and that's the crux of the whole thing. And if you even know who was the first person to really come out with the Mandela effect stuff, it was it was this I believe this chick, this like Hollywood, very Hollywood produced movies and stuff. I'm sure she wasn't just doing it to, push an agenda for her own self. Yeah, there, there's not. And why is it everything? Why is everything that excuse me? Why is it everything that the Mandela effect has to do with corporate logos? And it happened nowhere else, really, except for this mud flood, maybe. But um, the architecture didn't change. I remember before I heard anything about the Mandela effect, I'm certain of where I lived and what the houses looked like. When I was in Baltimore, I knew that there was windows in weird places. I knew that. I just never put two and two together that that's the cause of it. So that's what I'm saying? That's for me. That's the divide. I mean, I'm gonna go check it out because I like that dude, Jason. Yeah, I'll check it out. But that's just my little spiel on that. Whoa. Okay. 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 Button hero. I'm down. In short, after a mud flood, the children appear in giant eggs, already dressed and tooled. Yeah, I'll check it out. That sounds cool. And yeah, and Fire Drake. Obviously, I'll check it out because I like Jason's videos. I think I might have even started that one. Um. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you hear me, dude. I mean, I just it's not. I wasn't saying like. I was just saying that the Mandela effect is, we spin off on these little tangents that I just think it can be a very goofy footed thing for people. Because the Berenstain Bears, like, dude, even though that's something that got me, I go, even though it's something that got me, I was 5 years old when I was reading that. Why wouldn't I implement with my eyes? I've seen the word Stein my entire life, and I know how it's spelled. I get the EA and how that switches and EA, and there's a big thing, and I get all of the magic and all of the shit that's going on, and I don't discount it as a possibility. But like when I go from that to all of these other, they're always they're always corporate symbols, and I'm like, it's really not that big of it's not that much of a change, and it's not really like show me something worth looking at. Like one thing for me was like, okay, Volkswagen, that one, Volkswagen, the little thing in the middle. I was like, I own one of those. I don't think it was there, but I would have never looked at it that hard. I didn't care to. It was just an emblem of my car. I wasn't like a I didn't work at a Volkswagen dealership. I didn't do that. So there's so many things I just go. I kind of just in the beginning in the beginning of all of my videos I made a couple videos on the Mandela effect specifically because it's interesting. But I don't think there's enough other than just people that remembering shit wrong. I mean, I'm not. I don't by any means be like, dude, your fucking mind sucks and you get tricked all the time. Like, because I know we can jump timelines and know things like this happen. But yeah, could be going on a much on a Mandela, which is, and I'll let everybody here know, uh, Nelson Mandela is a mandala. It's a locator icon symbol. It's a sigil. He's a sigil. He's an entity that has become a sigil for an idea. So instead of just making your own mandala, which is a clock, if you will, a sigil clock, now you use this guy Nelson Mandela as an effect over here. Do I remember what I thought about? Um, Evidently putting some release some stuff. That's cool. I'll check that out, man. Do you remember what you thought about the windows before you found them? Um, I wasn't deep into conspiracies like to this like not conspiracies. You know what I mean? Like all the extra of the world. Like wow, this all fits together. That kind of conspiring of the world. Um, I didn't think about it from the sense of having lived in homes that had basements that were dug out with with windows like tiny windows that were part of it that were above ground, far enough above ground. So and then going to like in when I lived in Baltimore and seeing all of these row houses, and then just seeing that there was these really strange like I was like, what? It's right there, right at this like I just it didn't. I was like, wow, I guess that's just how they made it. It didn't really it didn't really register, even though I built homes and things. Like a lot of it was rehab. It just didn't register. And then once like I looked at it and somebody was like, yo, look at these bigger buildings. Look at what's going on here. And I said, oh man, yeah, this is ridiculous. I've built and architected and I was like, why would you do that? You're right. This is and then it was just now do you see? Yep. That's about it. It was oh now I see it. Yep. Button Hero, New Zealand. Okay, here, and if we'll play with the Mandela effect for a second. New Zealand was a huge one for me too, um, because there was this person that I was very familiar with his work. Somebody that a lot of my work is based on. His name's Don Tolman, and he lives in he has I think a bunch of places. One's in Salt Lake City, one's in uh, Brisbane, West Coast, no Gold Coast of Australia. And I remember a while ago I thought he had bought a plot of land somewhere in New Zealand. He's always talking about the Kiwis and all these things, and I just had done a bunch of research and I knew exactly where it was, where Australia was and where New Zealand was. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it because I'd looked at property there. I looked at what he was like. He was building a community and he had properties and there was a whole thing that he was doing. And I said, So I was doing a lot of research on it. I was like, what would it take to, get one of these? Like what, you know, okay, I have to save up this much money, and it was so I knew exactly where it was. Then I looked at a map a few years later, and I was like, New Zealand's over there. That was really that was one of the strangest ones for me, you know. But from that level, to me, what that says is you can manipulate the computer any way you want. That's what that said to me. Like I don't know the old maps. I don't know that I ever looked at an old map. All I knew is I looked at a computer map. So I can't really, I can't really, you know, yeah. Fire Drake Susso. I don't know who that is. Hey, button here. You're exactly. I'm exactly with you. It was above us, above and to the right. Yes, I remember that too. Yeah. Hold on one second, yo. Check my check my charge on my phone and see if we almost ready to. Hey, look at that. It's so funny. You play with Fun Mandela effects. It's 322. Hey, that's an interesting number, huh? Anybody familiar with that? Really, there's cats out there been like Mandela effect, mud floods. Glad you're catching up. The mud floods is the biggest thing, dude. Like I don't like that was. I mean, but how do you find that? That's the kind of thing. How that's the is that just gonna sit there like that? Do you jump onto that timeline if you want to play a little deeper in the mud? You want to play a little deeper in the games? Like, is everything stagnant? Is the universe without movement and nothing's in motion? Everything is stagnant here, and we just jump onto that other thing. Like the mud floods will never be a bigger thing on this in this timeline here. And all we do is we quantum jump into the timeline where more people know about the mud floods. Or we jump on the timeline where who the fuck cares and the world's a better place. Or we jump on the timeline where, you know, all the borders are open up and people are happy. Or do we, apocalypse? Or do we go to, those I think are possibilities. Is everything just a stagnant? Does that make sense that everything's just stagnant? There's no movement in any of these things, none of these ideas. The only thing that moves is your mind. And that's a grand possibility too. But yeah, how would you? But let's just imagine that everything's moving, many different pieces, people, information, and it's all just this whole sea and stew of information technology being rattled off at infinite speed that you can't even calculate because it's just. And as this is happening, we're finding the Mandela, we're finding the mud flood stuff, and it's growing. It's becoming like, oh, this person's okay. Like that's so it's so strange that some people knew about that. Like how do you if you knew it, how would you even get that info out without this is what the computer did though. You know, I mean we've had computers for a long time, but being able to link up this way. Yes, there's a major distinction between when am I hooking up? Yeah, Zigzag did one. Yeah, and so did oh yeah, you seen yeah. The distinction of basement windows and mud flood windows are wildly different. Especially when you know the like in a city like this, it's very easy to show here because it is like a known fact you don't build basements here because the water table is too high and because you don't and because you'll flood. Literally the city floods in certain parts because we're at sea level. So, and there's actually parts that are below sea level. So it would make no sense to have anything beneath that because you would just flood it out. But yeah, I see buildings that have what is like really cut out basement windows where there's a floor beneath. We're like, how was that there? We know you don't build like that, yet it's there. And I've walked by and shown some of these. And so that's to me is like, whoa, that's really super crazy. What's up, Synchron? Ice giants exist. Fire Drake. Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt any of those things. Like the giants and the things like this, I don't doubt that for a second. I mean, certainly. Like I don't. Reality. There's way too much There's way too much going on in the world. There's way too much reality out there uh, that people just, you know. It's not that people ignore it. It's like how do you accept it? Like how do you accept it? Like every day of your life is lived as if you are you're a human being and you're 6 foot tall, just about like every other dude on the planet, and um, now all of a sudden there's different species of humans and there's different like people have different energetic bodies. People can have what you'd consider superpowers. Well, that's going to be hard for most people. But when you have when you develop a superpower, you're like, oh well, yeah. And then what do you do? Tell people? They ain't gonna believe you. What do you show people? They're gonna be like, you're fucking weird. You can't. It doesn't until there's enough people to be like, well, yeah, this shit is possible. It's not to. It's like it's the whole X-Men thing, right? What's up, Ellie? You see me more than your boyfriend, and you know what? And people can see me in the dream world too. So I'm all over the place. Oh shit! It is Valentine's Day. Holy shit! I think you know what? Today would be an easy day to go participate in the functions of lonely, desperate women looking for some loving. I might have to go. I might go have to go find me one of those best lovers for a couple weeks. Do I think? Um, do I think some people are NPCs? It just depends on how you qualify an NPC. I think there are certainly people that they're not really lights on nobody's home kind of shit. To what level? I've seen some pretty empty souls. I think there's vehicles. I think that's a really I won't do that here, man. I'll answer that fully another time. But I suppose there's just and there's people that are just walking through life because there's nothing else for them. They don't have any ambition. They don't like they don't like race cars. They'll they maybe maybe they got so programmed by the TV that like that's reasonable to them that they're like literally their pineal gland is and the TV and the microwave meals and like they've removed the spirit from the body and they're just walking around because they're on a they're on a certain wavelength and frequency. I would say that was more of what's going on. Not that there isn't black magic that has produced what you see as empty vessels that is then um, controlled by, say, someone as a magician. Yeah, Fire Jack. I was talking about this in one of the second or third videos I made. Actually, I made a few videos about how important the mud flood is, and I think for so many reasons, it's more important than the Earth being possibly a flat realm. I say possibly a flat realm. You know why? I know where we're at, but there's more choices in the dream world, and we are in a dream, so you know what I mean. But I think it's a bigger deal than that. I think it's a much bigger deal than that because it's easily provable. The flat Earth, a lot of people will be like, out of all of the conspiracies, it's the most easily provable. It might be the most easily provable, like to them, but to the grand population, it's not going to be. It's really not. Because they're like, you're telling me that the entire world is not, like, that they actually flipped it around and lied and told you a different shape. Now, if I just go, I can actually show you physical evidence in your city, right down the street, for what I'm talking about. They can accept that because it just got left out of the history books. Everybody knows the winners write history. Yeah. So you can accept why maybe they just put this over here, took that off the shelf, burnt these books, put that on the top shelf, hid that over there. People could accept that. People can go, yeah, that makes sense. And you can physically say, look at this, look at the building, look how it's built. Let's look at this in every city. Let me show you how this works. You talk to architects, they'll look at it. They'll be like, yeah, that's believable. It's not only is it believable, it's actually provable. I can point at it. So I think that's for that reason, because it connects all of that. If you that thing right there, then proves that leads in, I think, even more to people accepting that the Earth might be a different shape. Yeah, fire drake. I mean, what do they call that? It used to be the wisdom was always passed mouth to ear. That's probably why I don't write anymore, man. That's why I just speak, because writing is. If you really understood what writing was, it's not it's something different. And what's up, Travis? Yeah, a flat Earth is very easy to prove, unless you're fully indoctrinated, which everybody is. But even the indoctrinated can be undone with pointing right in front of their face. Plus, okay, you understand. There's the cookie jars on top of the fridge. The, maybe that's my next video I'll make. The cookie jar is on top of the fridge, so you can't see it, and that's where they put the books. That's top shelf liquor right there. That's the stuff that you can't see. That's why I think the mud flood thing is easier to show and easier for people to grasp onto. Because like, oh, okay, they didn't. Because in that way, here's if I could just repeat myself, with the globe model and the heliocentric model, it's like motherfuckers lied and flipped it around and just bullshitted. That's really like tough to swallow. But if you just say it was pushed aside, like nobody lied about the mud flood. Nobody said, you know, they didn't say the opposite. They just omitted. They omitted that. It's easier to just go. They just push that aside in the history books. They gave you a. They just here's the information you read. You just didn't read that book. You'd have to read a book that's alternative to a circular, spherical Earth to be a flat one. That's completely different. Like we got this and that. Where the mud flood is like, oh, you just didn't read that book yet. See, much easier to. That's easier to get down. Button hero realizing air is the dry state of water is another shock too, and we breathe in four steps, not two. I've never heard either of those things, and I'll also probably not agree with you on the first part. Air is not the dry state of water. We live inside of uh, um, water. Is water. Water is an element of itself. Let me see if I can. I'll give you my knowledge on the subject because I'm not. I don't. I mean, you might be saying the same thing, but I don't. Maybe you're just saying the same thing in reverse of what I'm saying. Let me try. What's around us is ether, whatever you want to, however you want to say that. Electrical. There's a whole grid of electricity, but we're in water. There's no time that the air is completely dry. We're actually our respiratory system is letting. If the air was completely dry, you would die. There's no dry, so there's no such thing as dry air. It's always moisture, and water is not hydrogen and oxygen. Water is water. There's four elements for a reason: air, fire, earth, and water. It's not water, sort of, kind of, because that's the confusing. Now we get into the chemical things. You're gonna take two elements, hydrogen and oxygen, and you try to jam hydrogen, gas, oxygen, gas, and jam them together and make water. You can't do it. Is that an anomaly or just a lie? I'm gonna go with it's bullshit. That water is water, and what's around us here is you'd call air, or ether. So in that way, yeah. And what are the four steps to breathing? Because I'm not seeing it. It's a pendulum. Your breath is a pendulum. pendulum never stops. It gets to what you think is the peak point and falls back down. So I'm not. It's like a figure eight. All right, so explain to me that, man, and maybe you're saying the same thing with the air. What's up, VO Stephen K? Stephen K, I said I'd answer your question about something you had asked about how long, about calories and stuff, and if you should dry fast or if you should urine fast or water fast or juice fast. Depends on what you want to accomplish, man. Um, for most people, the initial goal is to clean their body out. So if your goal is to clean your body out, which I suppose it is, um, it should be it should be water and urine. Um, the whole idea of calories is a misnomer. Calories are completely a faulty way to look at anything because your body is not a fireplace. It's not using fire to do anything. It's using a chemical process, which could be, considered fire, but you could eat a piece of coal and it could have 10,000 calories, but you're not going to get anything from it. So what you're talking about, what you really need to concern yourself with, is nutrition or energetics. And so you could have the same amount of calories in a burnt piece of steak as you would um, a bunch of fruit. Surely there's going to be more energy that you get out of the fruit than you would out of the steak. And I'll even go one further with this. If you look at a package of meat and it says here's the amount of protein, here's the amount of this, here's the amount, then you go and cook it, you've changed that entire makeup of what's going on in the food. So these ideas that people have of how much protein is in a 12-ounce piece of steak. Well, no, that's before you cooked it. That's before you heated it up. That's before you stressed the proteins. That's before you cooked the outside and burnt some things off. So there's a lot of other things going on. Um, so the calorie thing is throw that away. That's not how we look at things. It's nutrition, which means light and energy. Um, and if you can, if you know, if what your goal is, obviously, if you're already pretty healthy and clean, um, a juice fast is a great idea because it will keep you feeling like, you still have electricity running through you, and it will still do a job of cleansing you, just not as quickly. So, if you're already in a pretty decent state of health, I would say do juice fasts. I would do like, for me, I like to just mix it up and just work with it because I've done them so many. I've done them so many times that it just depends for me on what kind of day I want to have. Some days it's piss, and some days it's water and tea and maybe a little bit of beer. Some days that's how I do my fast. I don't suggest everybody do it that way, but hopefully that answers your query, man. Synchron games do prove a flat Earth. This is true too, man. Yeah, this is certainly true. There's none that are on. You don't go on top of a hill and play a game. It doesn't make any sense. I like that. Games prove flat Earth. Like hey, Synchron. It proves flat Earth to people that know, that think. But to say that to somebody, be like, no, it doesn't. Be like, well, yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. That's my favorite argument right there. Yeah, they weren't as quick. At Firejack, I don't think they were built as quickly or when. I would say they go way farther back. And if they weren't built as quickly, why bullshit on it? Why say it was built in 2 years if it took 20 years? But here's one more proof to Firejack. The biggest proof that is go look up all of the go look up all of the world's fairs across the world. They built all of these giant cities and then just knocked them down, like giant buildings and awesome shit everywhere, and they just knocked them down. No, 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 no. You're lying. That's not true. Couldn't have happened. No way. because especially when you notice where did all these people come from to come check this shit out? Like all of a sudden there's this whole influx of people. You know, there's people in the city before that. No, that's not how it happened. Yeah, Peter and Pete. I like them. They kind of I gotta say, Button here, they really irritate me and piss me off because their information is so good. If they would stop doing the shtick that they do, then other people would be able to hear them. But the shtick they do, there's a certain rhythm and thing that they do that is alarming because it's I think it's just how they are, but it's kind of how to put it. It's a play on psychology. It's a play on that, and they're doing something that is if they know they're doing it, it's very underhanded. But there's some people that just won't listen to it because the way that they do it, the way that they present it, is just quirky and goofy. Now I like it. I find it funny, and I like it because I can see through what they're doing. But um, if they really wanted to get the information out there, which I think is important, because especially the water thing that they do, and so many other experiments, they do the experiments and they show you, and their logic is sound, and but it doesn't. It's going to fall on so many deaf ears because it's, it's so them talking on top of each other with they exactly the same tone and is that the same motherfucker and he just filmed himself twice, what the hell's going on here? It's really goofy. They could do something else with that and to really help get the information out there. Synchron, watch time lapses of cloudy days. The clouds move more like oceans. Yeah, because there's moisture in the air. Yes, for certain. It's just different densities of moisture. Yeah. Yeah, hey, button here. I hear you about that. So when we breathe in twice and out twice, how? But I'm trying to figure out what you're saying there. Like what is? I'm not seeing it where it's happening. What are you saying? There's like if I breathe out first, the breath in is one suction in. So if I just breathe all my oxygen out right now, I just push well everything that's in me out. So that just it's one suction in. I'm not seeing where the second one's coming. I mean, I'm happy to. That would be interesting, but I'm not seeing where it is. Um, yeah, VO Stephen K. Exercising is great. Yes, keep the body moving. You keep it moving is best. Just go check out Wiley Schmidt stuff. Wiley Schmidt, a lot of his stuff from about a year ago. He does a lot of fasting while working out and doing a lot of exercises. And the dude, perfectly fine. I mean, you're gonna have some downtime where you're gonna have to you're gonna be going through some detox, but your energy levels go up. And I think the best way to keep your energy levels up is obviously urine's going to be better. You know, that's going to be more beneficial because you're going to be getting a lot of the chi back into your system, and obviously the urea and any kind of excess vitamins and minerals you might need. Yeah, yeah, for sure. We are four-step beings. Um, I mean, off the bat, I don't agree with that, but I'll check it out. Four steps to the being. Hmm. Trying to consider that. I see three, not four. Oh, yeah, all the cows starting fires. All the cows and the crazy woman, with the fight with the husband, the the smoking pipe, the cow knocking the thing over. I mean, all of the fires and all of the All of these buildings made of concrete and brick burnt down. Great fire in every city, and usually there was two of them. Yeah, Button Hero, man. It's like they got a shtick, man. I wish they was. I wish maybe somebody else could just take their information and redo it in a better way. Um, I'm not saying there's anything, I like it as a I like it as a comedy duo. I like how they get down with each other. Like I think it's fucking hilarious. I'd love to shoot the shit with them in a bar, but like as far as delivering information, that's a very small minority. They're going to be really being able to put up an hour of what they're like. Whenever I go to their channel, I'm like, all right, I'm glad that they, list off here in the description where they're going to say something. I mean, by myself, me talking, I'm not too much different, but I don't go out trying to solve scientific something queries. If I did, I would get right the fuck to it, and here it is. I'm just out here talking on multiple things. What's up, Juniper? Yeah, yeah, no salt. Just you'll get whatever salts you need from the urine to feel good, and obviously put your feet on the ground and get yourself some sunshine. Juniper, some rye whiskey. Yeah, I did. I did just some water and some urine and a little bit of tequila the past couple days, just a little bit. Oh, I did. Oh, yesterday I did tequila and tu- when you said juniper, I was gonna say tuniper because I couldn't turpentine. Yeah, turpentine is that's some heavy stuff right there, man. Yeah, but the easiest way is the rye whiskey. I might, you know what? Because after a fucking heavy duty like a couple I don't know, weekend some change ago, I was fucking on a bender. I just need to like take a break. So like now I'm just like one drink, two drinks, and I'm good. I'm not trying to hang. I'm not trying to have hangovers. I'm not trying to be all fucked up, stumbling all over. So, so maybe now that that's the case, I'll try some rye out because I'm not big into whiskey or any of the darker things. But maybe we'll try that out now. See what that does. Yeah, the cows burning cities down now causing global warming. Fucking cows. Jeez. I know. Thank you, Fire Drake. War on the cows. I mean, ain't it been a war on the cow for a long time? I mean, you know the that's like the Indian people, right? They worship the cow and believe in mother cow, and everybody else like fuck the cow. We'll kill the thing and eat it. Eat it. Eat that motherfucker. Kill it. Leon, hold up, piss lovers. Yeah, I noticed the crescent of the moon went that way, like a happy face. I thought watch any fucking movie. It's always this way or this way, right? It's always go on your local science channel, look it up, and you'll see the it's always this way or this way. I've seen it upside down. I don't know that I've ever seen it that way, but I've seen it upside down like that, the happy one. What's that about? The owl bottle in the dark. That's funny. I just got this. Did I show you the owl bottle the other day? Did I show you the bottle of mezcal I got? It's fucking amazing. But that has been finished. Super delicious mezcal. Yeah, turpentine. Well, you know what though? I will let people know. Uh, I don't think doing turpentine during like a just a full on fast is a great idea Man, that went straight through me and burnt my asshole. Like I was just about to go. I was really gonna go. Like I need to go put an ice cube in my ass right now. Like it was like that because the turpentine just ran right through me. Because I'd fasted and done so many enemas that I was just clean as a whistle. So some of it, a lot of it just went right through me. And probably not a good idea. Didn't feel good. It was like sticking a hot pepper up the ass. Not that I've ever done that, but uh, I know what it feels like now. Cow has become what modern day man is compared to what we used to be. Yeah, we used to be the fucking Aurochs, yo. And then we turned into the Chaos Boys or the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's right, Juniper's. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, scorching buttholes, man. Hassan's reposado. The hangover was unique. Hassong's. Yeah, as much as I've been enjoying my trip into the mezcal world, it's still a little too band-aidy for me, man. It's still not as good. I just want some dark tequila, some reposados. Yeah. Yeah, Juniper's no mucus. I mean, it was complete. Like my whole, like I was completely clean internally. But I learned my lesson with that. Learned my lesson with that. Don't do it. Black maca. Interesting. Oh, you know what I had the other day? It was so good. You said black maca. I had some black horchata. Man, I didn't ask the bartender what they did to change the color of it, but it was so good. I don't know if anybody knows what horchata is, but if you don't, go look it up and go to your local Mexican joint, and if they have black horchata, get that shit. So good, so good. Yeah, tequila and mescaline, mezcal and mescaline, probably that would be. Hmm. Yeah. So let me see what time we're looking at here, because I can take you guys on an adventure. Maybe it's 4 o'clock. Let me go see what my phone is looking like, and maybe we'll go on an adventure. Yeah, you know what? Screw it. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's just do it tomorrow. It's a nice day tomorrow, anyways, and I'll be able to get up and just make a day out of it rather than just run. Yeah, because it's like almost rush hour on the streetcars and all that. I have a couple of things to. So let's just do it tomorrow. So I'll stick on here for a couple more minutes, and we'll do Adventure Time tomorrow. Yeah, I mean I'm gonna go out and get some sunshine. Maybe go jump into the hot tub or something. It's always nice when you're cleansing. But I eat a little bit of um like if after my burning butthole, I was like, I need to put something in my system to kind of clean out my intestines. So I did some psyllium and a lot of fibers, and we'll see how that scrolls through my system and see if pulled any goodies out from the turpentine. The Shah, the blood man. So what else? What else, guys? I think I covered everything I wanted earlier on the mid threads and the The building. Now that we're almost an hour in here. Cilantro and gin today. Is it going to be a gin kind of? What are we? Is it Thursday? Is it Thor's day? If Thor drank, yeah, what did Thor drink? Was he? What is Thor connected to? Is anybody? Can anybody tell me what spirit of energy? Like, what? I mean, I mean, he beer, but I think he would have been a whiskey drinker. I don't know. Ice cold mead. I'd have to go out of my way to find some mead. Huh. Well, it does sound kind of good. Hmm. Well, I guess mead. Yeah, mead sounds right. Mead sounds right for a lot of reasons. Juniper, Jupiter. I wonder what Jupiter would be connected to, like in the realm of beverages. Huh. Maybe we'll do a little research on that. Maybe we'll do that. We'll do a I'll do a day by day breakdown of what spirits are connected, like literal like alcohol is connected to. Because what are the major spirits, right? There's not too many. I guess you'd have. I guess Monday would be like for moonshine, and I think moonshine would mostly be connected to vodka. So I think Monday would be a vodka kind of day. Tuesday is Tiwi's day, or the day of duality or war. So Tuesday would be connected to the war type. What is like a war? Like, I think that would be whiskey. I think whiskey would be a Tuesday. At least that's my first hint at it. And Wednesday is Woden. Um, Woden would be connected to what? Woden would be like more of like the forest, so maybe like gin. Thursday would be mead, but if we got right to the spirits, but well, I'll leave mead there for now. Friday is Freya's day. Um, hmm. This is a fun little game. We'll try to figure this one out. Saturday is gonna be Saturn, and what Saturn would be connected to what? I guess have to be a dark liquor. I mean, which day is gonna be the rum day? Which day is gonna be the rum diaries? Is that gonna be Friday? Is Friday gonna be a pirates kind of day, or is it? Yeah, I think Friday might be piratey day. Because Freya is what? F-R-I-Y-A. Who's who? That's a she, right? Yeah, no, you know what? You know what, Fire Drake, this is what's up. I'm definitely gonna drink mead today. White wine Fridays, deer piss. I drank a bunch of deer blood the other day, and that was a fucking mess. Because I also some other stuff, but deer blood was part of the deer blood was part of it. All right, Synchron. Cheers, y'all. Friday, you steal from the rich working class. Well, then there you go. Then that's very piratey, and that would be rum. So Fridays are rum, and Saturday is connected to Saturn, which would be I think would have everything to do with something really dark. I would say something so dark as, huh, kind of like not a normal spirit. It would have to be something completely different. Like make a drinking calendar. Yeah, what you should drink each day of the week. Oh, the whole for the whole month. See, I don't drink breakfast stouts because I'm not up early enough to consider breakfast. Laced with fly Arabic mushrooms. Yeah. And Sunday in every way is connected to wine. But, so I guess Sunday we can. It doesn't have to be a spirit. It just be wine. Amanitas muscaria. Yeah, if you need to take a nap, and Sam Adams is where it's at. But I mean, they got some that isn't hoppy. I mean, they got many varieties, but I've always enjoyed their beer. Like, thought for a big company, it's decent. All right, yeah, check it out. Potato vodka. Is Button Hero still on here? Did I miss Button Hero? He was way back here. If Button Hero's still commenting, I can't see it on this side. Because you said he's Fire Drake. You just said go with Gin Button Hero. I don't even see him on here, so I don't know if like see this shit happens. I don't know what the fuck. The last comment I got from him was 3:45. Where did it? Yeah, he said, "What's a clean spirit to drink?" Did he say it to you or on here? Because it's not on here. I literally did not see it. I'm scrolling through here. That's crazy, right? Unless he deleted his comment, but I mean, last thing I got is way farther up. Yeah, I don't know. This shit happens to my. I mean, if I go to someone else's channel and comment on something, only occasionally will I get that I got a response to my comment. And then sometimes I go back there and there'll be like two comments that were responding to me, and other times like this shit happens all the time, man. I don't fuck. Like, yeah. Oh well. Well, it makes me look like a dick that I'm not answering. I hate like I don't worry. I'll be a dick on my own. I will be a fucking asshole on my own. Don't make me look. See, don't try to make me look like a fucking schmuck. I'm perfectly capable of doing that. I can do bad on my own. This is known. So, anyways, I'm gonna get the fuck off here because I do have to take a shit. Happy to say, and maybe tonight I'll get on here after I drink a couple meads and we'll have another chitty chat. But yeah, you don't want too much estrogen, so stay away from the fucking estrogen rich beer, the hops beer. Only time you should be drinking hoppy beer is if like you really need to take a nap because it's gonna make you sleepy. But it also is the precursor for movies. Oh shit, dear blood, yummy, but not for me. When did you do that? Leo, just for a couple days, you got it. You getting that? Oh, cause it's, oh, cause is it also do you do Valentine's over wherever the fuck you are? Is that what you're doing, or is that just your girl now? Cause motherfucker, I knew it, Leo. All right, you fuckers, I gotta get out of here.